Maya Chen was bored. She sat in the back row of room 214 at Westbrook Elementary School, watching the clock on the wall. Mrs. Patterson was talking about rivers and mountains, but Maya had stopped listening 15 minutes ago. Outside the window, she could see the football field and the bright Kansas sky. It was a normal Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special ever happened in this small town. She looked around the classroom. Tommy Rodriguez was drawing something in his notebook. Sarah Miller was passing a note to her friend. Kevin Park was almost falling asleep. 23 kids, one teacher, and the slowest clock in the world. Maya sighed and looked at the ceiling. That was when the lights flickered. At first, nobody noticed. Lights flickered all the time in old schools. But then they flickered again, and again. Then came a sound. A deep humming noise that made the windows shake. The pencils on the desk started to roll. The water in the fish tank made small waves. Mrs. Patterson stopped talking. She looked at the ceiling with confused eyes. "Children, stay calm," she said, but her voice was not calm at all. The humming grew louder. Some kids covered their ears. Maya stood up from her seat and walked to the window. What she saw made her heart stop. A spaceship was coming down from the sky. It was huge and black, shaped like a giant insect. It moved slowly, blocking out the sun as it came closer to the ground. Maya could see strange lights blinking on its surface. She could feel the heat coming through the glass. "Everyone get away from the windows!" Mrs. Patterson shouted, but Maya could not move. She watched as the ship landed on the football field. The ground shook so hard that books fell from the shelves. The goalposts bent and broke under the weight of the massive craft. Smoke and dust flew everywhere. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then the screaming started. Maya turned around. Her classmates were crying and running in all directions. Mrs. Patterson was trying to keep everyone together, but fear had taken over. Maya felt fear too, deep in her stomach, but something else was stronger. She wanted to know what was happening. She needed to understand. A loud crash came from somewhere in the school. Then another, and another. Heavy footsteps, getting closer. The door to room 214 exploded inward. Maya saw them clearly. They were tall, maybe 7 feet, with bodies covered in hard shells like beetles. They had 4 arms and 4 eyes. Their skin was dark green, almost black. They carried weapons that glowed with blue light. Everything about them said one word: danger. 7 of these creatures walked into the classroom. They moved together like soldiers. Their eyes looked at everything at once. One of them, bigger than the others, stepped forward. He wore something like a crown on his head. He was clearly the leader. Maya did not scream. She did not run. She watched. The leader made a sound, clicking and hissing. Then a mechanical voice came from a device on his chest. "Humans, you are now property of the Vrix Dominion. Do not resist. Resistance means death." Mrs. Patterson stepped in front of her students. Her whole body was shaking, but she stood her ground. "These are children," she said. "Please, they are just children." The leader tilted his head. His 4 eyes blinked one after another. "Age is not relevant. You are all specimens now." Maya noticed something strange. The soldiers behind the leader were not standing still. They were moving slightly, shifting their weight from one leg to another. Their antennae, the long, thin things on their heads, were twitching fast. Too fast. One soldier was looking at the wall where the children's art projects hung, colorful drawings of families, pets, and dreams. The soldier stared at a picture of a smiling sun with a face. His whole body trembled. Another soldier had stepped back from Tommy Rodriguez. Tommy was crying loudly, tears running down his face, his small body shaking with sobs. The soldier near him looked almost scared. Maya's mind started working. She had read many books about animals. She knew that predators showed certain signs when they were confident. These aliens were supposed to be conquerors. They had weapons and armor and a giant spaceship, but they did not look confident. They looked uncomfortable. They looked like they wanted to leave. Why? She looked around the classroom again, trying to see it through new eyes. The walls were covered with bright colors, happy pictures, motivational posters. "Believe in yourself," said one. "You are special," said another. There was a corner with stuffed animals. There was a chart with gold stars for good behavior. There was a small cage where Whiskers the hamster was running on his wheel, around and around, going nowhere but never stopping. It was chaos. Beautiful, emotional, human chaos. And the aliens hated it. Maya watched as the leader tried to speak again. You will come with us. The Vrix Dominion has conquered 47 species. Earth will be number 48. Your cities will fall. Your armies will break. Your... He stopped. His eyes were fixed on something. Maya followed his gaze to a small poster near the door. It showed two hands holding each other. Below it were the words, "Kindness matters." The leader stared at it like it was a bomb about to explode. Maya made a decision. She did not know if it was brave or stupid, but she raised her hand, just like she would in any normal class. Everyone looked at her classmates, her teacher, the alien soldiers with their glowing weapons. "Excuse me," Maya said. Her voice was steady. She surprised herself. "I have a question." The leader turned all four of his eyes toward her. The translator on his chest made a confused clicking sound. No species had ever spoken to him without permission. His database had no protocol for this. "You do not speak unless..." "Why are you shaking?" Maya asked. Silence filled the room. The soldiers looked at each other. Their antennae twitched faster than before. "I am Commander Thexal of the Vrix Dominion," the leader said. "I do not shake. I am superior. I am..." "Your hands," Maya said, pointing. "All four of them. They are shaking. And your soldiers keep stepping backward. And that one over there looks like he is going to be sick." She pointed at a soldier who was indeed making strange noises, his eyes locked on a child's drawing of a rainbow. Commander Thexal said nothing. For the first time in his 300 years of conquest, he had no words. Maya smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. She did not know exactly what was happening. She did not understand why these powerful aliens seemed so uncomfortable, but she knew one thing for certain. The monsters were afraid, and Maya Chen was not. The question hung in the air like smoke. Maya stood with her hands still raised, waiting for an answer. Commander Thexal stared at her with all four of his dark eyes. Nobody moved, nobody breathed. "You will be silent," the commander finally said. His voice came through the translator, cold and flat. "Humans do not ask questions. Humans obey." "But you did not answer me," Maya said. She lowered her hand and took a step forward. "Why are you shaking? Why do your soldiers keep looking at our drawings like they are dangerous? What is wrong with you?" Mrs. Patterson reached out and grabbed Maya's arm. "Maya, please," she whispered. "Do not make them angry." But Maya had seen something important. She had seen fear in the eyes of creatures who were supposed to have none. She needed to understand why. Commander Thexal made a sharp clicking sound. Two of his soldiers raised their weapons toward Maya. Blue light glowed at the ends of the guns. The other children screamed and cried. But Maya did not look at the guns. She looked at the soldiers holding them. Their arms were not steady. The weapons moved slightly up and down, like leaves in a soft wind. "You cannot even aim properly," Maya said quietly. "Something in this room is hurting you." "What is it?" The commander raised one of his forearms. The soldiers lowered their weapons. For a long moment, he simply looked at Maya. His antennae moved slowly, like they were trying to feel the air around her. "You are strange," he said. "Other species scream. They beg. They run. They do not ask questions." "I am curious," Maya said. "My mom says curiosity is my best and worst quality." Something changed in the commander's eyes. It was small, barely visible, but Maya caught it. A flicker of something she could not name. "Curious," he repeated the word like he was tasting it. "We removed curiosity from our species long ago. It was inefficient." Maya tilted her head. "You removed it? How do you remove curiosity?" "We removed many things." The commander walked slowly toward the windows, looking out at the spaceship on the field. "Curiosity, fear, joy, anger, love, all the things you call emotions. They made us weak. They made us slow. So we cut them out of our blood, our bones, our minds. Generation after generation, until nothing remained but logic. Pure, perfect logic." Maya tried to understand. A species without feelings? A whole civilization that did not know what happiness was, that did not know what sadness was. They could not laugh at jokes. They could not cry at funerals. They could not love their children. That sounds terrible, she said honestly. The commander turned sharply. It is not terrible. It is efficient. It is why we conquered 47 worlds. It is why we will conquer yours. Then why are you shaking? The question hit him like a punch. His four eyes blinked rapidly. His antennae went stiff. Behind him, his soldiers made uncomfortable sounds. Maya understood now. She finally saw the truth. It is us, she said slowly. We are hurting you, not with weapons, not with fighting, just by being ourselves. She looked around the room, the crying children, the scared teacher, the colorful walls full of art and hope and dreams, the little hamster running without purpose. Every square inch of this place was filled with emotion, joy, fear, love, sadness, hope. It poured out of every person and every object like invisible waves, and the Vrix could not handle it. You feel nothing, Maya continued, her voice growing stronger. But you can still sense it, cannot you? You can sense our emotions, and because you have never felt anything yourselves, it is like, she searched for the right words. Like staring at the sun, she said. Too bright, too strong, too much. Commander Thexal stood perfectly still. His soldiers had stopped pretending to be brave. Some of them had backed against the walls. One was sitting on the floor, his eyes closed, his forearms wrapped around himself like a scared child. Your species is classified as primitive, the commander said quietly. You have not traveled beyond your own moon. You fight wars over invisible lines in the dirt. You kill each other over ideas that exist only in your minds. By every measure, you should be easy to conquer. He paused. His voice changed, becoming almost like a whisper. But your minds, your hearts, they burn like stars. Every one of you is a small sun. Every one of you is a universe of things we cannot understand. Pain and pleasure mixed together. Sadness and happiness at the same time. How do you survive it? How do you function with so much noise inside you? Maya thought about the question seriously. How did humans survive their own emotions? She thought about her mother, who laughed and cried while watching the same movie. She thought about her father, who worked hard at a job he hated because he loved his family. She thought about her grandmother, who still talked to her grandfather even though he died 5 years ago. We do not survive in spite of our feeling, Maya said. We survive because of them. They give us reasons to keep going. They connect us to each other. When one of us is weak, another one is strong. When one of us is sad, another one helps them smile. She pointed at Tommy Rodriguez, who had stopped crying and was now holding hands with Sarah Miller. They were both scared, but they were scared together. See, Maya said, that is what makes us strong. Not logic, not efficiency, connection, love, hope. Commander Thexal looked at the two children holding hands. Something in his expression shifted. His antennae drooped slightly. If Maya did not know better, she would say he looked sad. We do not have words for what you describe, he said. We have words for efficiency, for conquest, for victory, but not for that. Maybe that is your problem, Maya said gently. Maybe you have been fighting with the wrong weapons this whole time. The commander looked at her for a long time. His four eyes seemed to be searching for something in her face, searching for answers to questions his species had stopped asking thousands of years ago. You are a child, he said finally, a small, weak young human. Your bones would break under my smallest finger. Your life will last less than 100 of your years. You have no weapons, no armor, no power. Maya nodded. That is all true. Then why do I feel like you are the dangerous one? Maya smiled. It was a real smile this time, warm and bright. Around her, the other children stopped crying. Mrs. Patterson stood a little straighter. Even Whiskers the hamster seemed to run faster on his wheel. Because I am, Maya said simply. Because we all are. Every single human in this room, in this school, in this world. We are the most dangerous thing you have ever met. She spread her arms wide. And you walked right into our classroom. Commander Thexal stood silent for a long moment after Maya's words. Then he did something that surprised everyone. He laughed. It was not a real laugh, not like a human would make. It was a series of sharp clicks and hisses, but it was meant to sound like laughter. Dangerous, he repeated. You think emotions make you dangerous? You are wrong, little human. Emotions make you predictable. They make you weak. They make you easy to control. He straightened his back and raised all four of his arms. The soldiers behind him tried to stand taller too, though some of them still trembled. Enough of this game, the commander said. We came here for specimens. We will take 3 of your young ones back to our ship for study. The rest will wait here until the main fleet arrives. Maya's heart dropped. Take 3 children. She looked around at her classmates. Tommy was still holding Sarah's hand. Kevin had woken up and was crying quietly. Little Emma Wilson, the smallest girl in class, was hiding under her desk. No, Maya said. You cannot take anyone. I was not asking for permission. The commander pointed at Tommy. That one. The one who leaks water from his eyes. He will be first. A soldier stepped toward Tommy. The boy screamed and backed against the wall. Sarah tried to protect him, but she was too small, too weak. Mrs. Patterson rushed forward, but another soldier blocked her path. Maya had to do something. But what? She had no weapons. She had no power. She was just a 12-year-old girl in a grass-stained shirt. Then she remembered what the commander had said. Emotions were too bright for them, too strong, like staring at the sun. What if she made the sun brighter? Everyone, Maya said loudly, listen to me. I need you to do something. The children looked at her. Even the soldiers paused. I need you to think about something happy, Maya continued. The happiest memory you have. Can you do that? Close your eyes and think about it. Really hard. Think about it like you are there again. Maya, what are you doing? Mrs. Patterson asked. Trust me, Maya said. Please, everyone, happy memories. Now. The children were scared and confused, but they had known Maya for years. She was the smart one, the brave one, the one who always had ideas. So they did what she asked. Tommy closed his wet eyes and thought about last Christmas, when his father came home from working overseas. Sarah thought about her birthday party at the beach. Kevin thought about the day his dog had puppies. Emma, under her desk, thought about her grandmother's warm kitchen. Maya watched the soldiers. The effect was small at first. A slight stiffening of their bodies, a faster twitch of their antennae. But as more children joined in, as more happy memories filled the room, something changed. The soldier walking toward Tommy stopped. His legs would not move. His 4 eyes went wide and blank. What is happening? He said. His voice through the translator sounded broken. What is this? More, Maya said to her classmates. Think harder. Think about people you love. Your parents, your brothers and sisters, your grandparents, your friends. Feel how much you love them. Let that feeling grow inside you. The children obeyed. 22 young minds filled with love. It poured out of them like light, like heat, like music that only the heart could hear. The Vrick soldiers began to fall. One dropped to his knees, his weapon clattering on the floor. Another stumbled backward into the wall and slid down, his 4 arms covering his face. A third made a sound like screaming, though his species had not screamed in 10,000 years. Commander Thexal stood firm, but Maya could see the struggle in his body. Every muscle was tight. Every joint was locked. He was fighting against something he did not understand. Stop this, he commanded. Stop this now. No, Maya said calmly. Mrs. Patterson, could you sing something? Something about love? The teacher understood now. Her eyes were wet with tears, but her voice was strong when she began to sing. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. The children knew this song. Their parents had sung it to them. Their grandparents had sung it to their parents. It was old and simple and full of love. One by one, they joined in. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The song filled the room like water filling a cup. It overflowed. It spilled into every corner, every space, every molecule of air. And the Vricks drowned in it. Commander Thexal fell to one knee. His translator sparked and made strange noises. His antennae lay flat against his head. His four eyes leaked fluid, clear and thick, like tears but not quite. What? What is this? He gasped. This feeling. I do not have words. We call it joy, Maya said. She walked toward him slowly, mixed with love and hope and connection. All the things you remove from your species, all the things you thought made you weak. She stood in front of him now, looking down at the alien commander who had conquered 47 worlds. They do not make us weak, she said softly. They make us human, and that is the most powerful thing in the universe. The commander looked up at her. For the first time, his eyes held something other than cold calculation. They held wonder. They held fear. And deep beneath those, buried under thousands of years of evolution, they held the smallest spark of something new. We feel nothing, he whispered. We have felt nothing for so long. But this, I cannot block it out. It is inside me. It is changing me. Maybe that is not a bad thing, Maya said. Around her, the children were still singing. The soldiers were still on the ground, overwhelmed by the tsunami of human emotion. Some of them were making sounds like crying, though they did not know what crying was. Some of them were shaking in ways their bodies had never shaken before. One soldier, the youngest among them, had crawled to the corner where the stuffed animal sat. He was holding a teddy bear against his chest, his forearms wrapped around it tight. His eyes were closed. Something like peace was spreading across his face. Maya looked at him and felt something unexpected. She felt sorry for the Vrix. They had conquered half the galaxy, but they had never known the simple comfort of holding something soft. They had won every battle, but they had never felt the joy of victory. They had lived for thousands of years, but they had never really lived at all. I think, Maya said to Commander Thexal, that you came here looking for specimens, but maybe you found something else instead. The commander raised his head. Tears, real tears, were falling from all four of his eyes. What did we find, he asked. Maya smiled and held out her hand. A reason to stop conquering, she said, and a chance to start feeling. Commander Thexal looked at Maya's small hand. 5 fingers, soft skin, no claws, no weapons, just a human girl offering peace to an alien conqueror. He did not take it, not yet. You do not understand, he said slowly. His voice was different now, quieter. The cold edge was gone. I have served the Vrix Dominion for 300 years. I have led armies across star systems. I have watched civilizations burn. I cannot simply stop. Maya kept her hand extended. Why not? Because the Dominion does not stop. We expand. We conquer. We grow. It is what we are. It is all we know. But is it what you want? The question seemed to hit him like a physical force. He blinked all 4 eyes rapidly. His mouth opened and closed without words. Maya sat down on the floor in front of him, cross-legged, like she was sitting in a circle for story time. Around them, the other children had stopped singing. The soldiers were still scattered across the room, some sitting, some lying down, all of them looking lost and confused. Mrs. Patterson watched from the corner, her arm around Tommy and Sarah. You know, Maya said, I learned something in history class last week. Mrs. Patterson was teaching us about old empires on Earth. The Romans, the Mongols, the British. They all thought they would last forever. They all thought conquest was the only way. She picked up a crayon that had fallen on the floor. It was yellow, bright like the sun. They are all gone now, she continued. Every single one. The empires that built their strength on hurting others always fell. Do you know what lasted? Stories, songs, art, the things people made out of love, not fear. Commander Thexal listened. His soldiers listened too, though they probably did not understand everything. But they could feel the truth in her words. That was new, feeling truth instead of calculating it. Your species conquered 47 worlds, Maya said. What happened to those worlds? The commander was silent for a long moment. They serve the Dominion now. They produce resources. They follow orders. Are they happy? Happiness is not relevant. But it is, Maya said gently. That is what you never understood. Happiness is everything. Sadness is everything. Love is everything. Without those things, you are just existing. You are not really alive. She stood up and walked to the wall where the children's artwork hung. She pointed to a drawing made by Emma Wilson. It showed a house with a family in front of it, a son with a smiling face, a dog with a wagging tail, simple shapes and bright colors. Emma made this 3 weeks ago, Maya said. It took her 1 hour, but look at what it contains. A home, a family, love, dreams, a whole universe of feelings on one piece of paper. She turned back to the commander. Can your species make something like this? Can you create something just because it makes you happy? Can you give a gift just to see someone smile? Thexal looked at the drawing. His antennae moved slowly, like they were trying to touch something invisible. No, he admitted. We create for function. We give for exchange. Everything has purpose. Everything has value calculated. That sounds so lonely, Maya said. The word hit him hard. Lonely. He knew the definition. His translator had explained it. But now for the first time, he felt what it meant. Thousands of years of existence without connection. Millions of ricks going through life without ever truly touching another soul. We did not know we were lonely, he said quietly. How can you miss something you have never had? Maya walked back to him. This time she sat right beside him, so close that her shoulder almost touched his arm. You can have it now, she said. That is the amazing thing about feelings. It is never too late to start. You felt something today, right? When we were singing, when the love and joy filled this room. You felt it. The commander nodded slowly. I felt warmth inside my chest and pressure behind my eyes and something in my throat that made it hard to speak. That is emotion, Maya said with a smile. That is what being alive really feels like. It was overwhelming. It can be, but it is also beautiful. The overwhelming part and the beautiful part are the same thing. You cannot have one without the other. One of the soldiers, the young one who had been holding the teddy bear, crawled closer. He still clutched the stuffed animal in two of his arms. Commander, he said, his voice trembling through his translator, I do not want to conquer anymore. This feeling, this warmth, I want more of it. I want to understand it. Another soldier nodded, then another, then all of them. Thexal looked at his squad. These were warriors who had fought across galaxies. They had won battles that seemed impossible. They had followed orders without question for decades. Now they sat on a classroom floor, crying tears they did not understand, changed forever by a room full of human children. If I refuse the mission, Thexal said slowly, the Dominion will send another fleet. They will destroy this planet as punishment. They will make an example of Earth. Then do not refuse, Maya said. Change the mission. What do you mean? Maya stood up and paced, thinking hard. Her brain worked fast, connecting ideas like puzzle pieces. You came here to study humans, right? To understand us? So study us. But not as prisoners, not as specimens, as teachers. She turned to face him, her eyes bright with excitement. Go back to your leaders. Tell them you discovered something more valuable than another conquered world. Tell them you found a species that knows how to feel, a species that can teach the Vricks what they lost thousands of years ago. The commander's eyes widened. You would do that? After we invaded your school? After we frightened your young ones? After we threatened to take them away? Maya shrugged. Holding on to anger is like holding a hot stone. It only burns the person holding it. My grandmother taught me that. She smiled at him. Besides, look at your soldiers. They are already learning. That one has not let go of that teddy bear for 15 minutes. The young soldier looked down at the bear in his arms. His face, if Maya was reading it right, showed something like embarrassment, but he did not let go. This object serves no function, he said quietly. It does not help me fight. It does not give me information. But when I hold it, I do not want to stop holding it. That is comfort, Mrs. Patterson said. She had walked closer, her fear finally smaller than her curiosity. Sometimes we need things that do not serve a function. Sometimes we just need to feel safe and loved. The soldier looked at her with wonder in his eyes. Safe. Loved. These are real? They are not just words? They are the most real things in the universe, Mrs. Patterson said. Commander Thexall stood up slowly. His full height was terrifying, 7 feet of armored alien warrior. But somehow he did not seem scary anymore. He seemed tired, confused, and underneath all that, he seemed almost hopeful. I must think about this, he said. I must consult with my soldiers. This is not a decision I can make alone. Take your time, Maya said. We are not going anywhere. The commander looked at her one more time. This small human girl who had done what no army in the galaxy had ever done. She had made the Vrix hesitate. She had made them feel. She had planted seeds of change in hearts that had been empty for 10,000 years. What is your name? He asked. Maya Chen. He repeated it carefully, learning the sounds. Maya Chen. I will remember this name. I will remember this day. Whatever happens next, I will remember that a child showed me the limits of my own understanding. He gave her a small bow, the first he had ever given to another species. Then he turned to his soldiers. We must talk, he said, all of us, about what we have felt today, about what we want to feel tomorrow. And for the first time in the history of the Vrix Dominion, a commander asked his soldiers what they wanted instead of telling them what to do. 3 hours passed inside room 214, 3 hours that changed the history of 2 species. Outside, the world had gone crazy. Military helicopters circled the sky. News vans lined the streets. The president was on the phone with every world leader. The United Nations was holding emergency meetings. Panic spread across the planet like wildfire. But inside the classroom, something different was happening. The Vrix soldiers sat in a circle with the children. They were talking, really talking, not commanding or threatening, but asking questions and listening to answers. The young soldier, whose name was Kethnar, had learned to smile. It looked strange on his insect-like face, but it was real. Tommy Rodriguez was teaching him how to play rock, paper, scissors. Emma Wilson was showing another soldier how to draw a cat. Mrs. Patterson was explaining the concept of bedtime stories to Commander Thexall. You tell your young ones imaginary tales before they sleep? The commander asked, his head tilted in confusion. Every night, Mrs. Patterson said, stories about heroes and adventures and magic. It helps them dream good dreams. But dreams serve no practical function. They serve the most important function of all. They give us hope. Maya watched it all from her desk in the back row. She was tired, the kind of tired that comes from being brave for too long. But she was also happy, so happy that her chest felt like it might burst. A soldier approached her. He was one of the bigger ones, his armor scratched from many battles. Small human, he said. His translator still made his voice sound mechanical, but there was something softer in it now. I killed many beings before today, many species. I felt nothing when they died. It was just my duty. Maya looked at him carefully. How do you feel about it now? The soldier was quiet for a long moment. His 4 eyes looked at something far away, something only he could see. Heavy, he finally said. My chest feels heavy. My mind keeps showing me their faces. Is this what you call guilt? Yes, Maya said softly. That is guilt. It hurts. It is supposed to. That is how we learn not to do bad things again. The soldier nodded slowly. I do not want to feel this pain again. I do not want to hurt anyone else. Then do not, Maya said simply. That is the whole point of guilt. It teaches us to be better. The soldier bowed his head. Thank you, small human, for helping me understand. Maya smiled. You are welcome, big alien. At that moment, Commander Thexall stood up in the middle of the room. Everyone fell silent and looked at him. Even the hamster stopped running on his wheel. I have made my decision, the commander announced. I have spoken with my soldiers. We are in agreement. Maya held her breath. The invasion is over, Thexall said. We will not conquer Earth. A wave of relief washed over the room. Children cheered. Mrs. Patterson started crying again, but this time from joy. The soldiers looked at each other with something like peace on their faces. But the commander was not finished. However, we cannot simply leave. If we return to the Dominion with no victory, They will send another fleet. Earth will burn. Everything we have learned here will be lost. The relief in the room turned cold again. Maya stepped forward. So what do we do? She asked. We surrender, Thexal said. Everyone stared at him. We will broadcast a message to the galaxy. We will tell them that Earth defeated us, not with weapons, but with something far more powerful. We will tell them about emotion, about love, about hope, and we will ask for asylum among your people. Asylum? Maya repeated. We wish to stay, to learn, to feel. The commander's voice cracked slightly. For the first time in my 300 years of existence, I want something for myself, not for the Dominion, not for conquest. I want to understand what it means to be alive. Your species can teach us, if you will have us. Maya looked at her classmates, at Mrs. Patterson, at the soldiers who had become something other than enemies. She did not have the authority to speak for all of humanity. She was just a 12-year-old girl. But sometimes that was exactly what the world needed. Yes, she said, we will have you. 2 hours later, Commander Thexal stood in front of a camera that broadcast to every screen on Earth. Beside him stood Maya Chen, still in her dirty jeans and faded Wonder Woman shirt. Behind them, Vrick soldiers and human children sat together like old friends. The whole world watched. People of Earth, Thexal began. His voice was steady now, stronger. I am Commander Thexal of the Vrick's Dominion. 3 hours ago, I came to conquer your planet. I came to add you to our collection of defeated species. I came with weapons and armor and the pride of 47 victories. He paused. Something like emotion moved across his face. I was defeated by 23 children and 1 teacher. They carried no weapons. They had no armor. They fought with something we had forgotten existed. They fought with their hearts. He looked down at Maya, who smiled encouragingly. Today I learned that true strength cannot be measured by ships or armies. True strength comes from the courage to feel, to love, to hope, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. He straightened his back and raised his voice. I hereby surrender myself and my soldiers to the planet Earth. But this is not a surrender of defeat. It is a surrender of choice. We choose to learn from you. We choose to feel. We choose to become more than we were. He placed his 4 hands over his chest, where the Vricks kept their hearts. One small human girl showed us that being vulnerable is not the same as being weak. Caring for others is not the same as being soft. And love, that thing we removed from our species so long ago, is not a weakness to be cured. It is a gift to be treasured. The broadcast ended. The world held its breath. Then slowly messages started to come in. From every country, every language, every corner of the planet. Messages of welcome, messages of hope, messages of forgiveness. The Vrick soldiers cried again. They were getting better at it. 1 month later, the young soldier Kethanar moved in with the Rodriguez family. Tommy had begged his parents to adopt him. And after many meetings with government officials, they agreed. Kethanar learned to eat pancakes for breakfast. He learned to watch cartoons on Saturday mornings. He learned to say, I love you before bed. And even though the words sounded strange in his translated voice, he meant every one of them. Commander Thexal began working with the United Nations as an ambassador. He helped prepare Earth for eventual contact with other species in the galaxy. He also started writing a book about his experiences. He called it The Day I Learned to Feel. It would become the most translated book in human history. And Maya Chen? Maya went back to school the next day. She had a geography test to finish. When reporters asked her how it felt to save the world, she just shrugged. I did not save anything, she said. I just treated them like people instead of monsters. Anyone could have done that. But that was not true. Not everyone could have seen past the armor and the weapons. Not everyone could have found weakness in strength and strength in weakness. Not everyone could have offered mercy to those who came to destroy her. Maya Chen did something special that day in room 214. She proved that the mightiest force in the universe was not fire or steel or conquest. It was kindness. It was connection. It was the simple belief that everyone, even aliens from across the galaxy, deserved a chance to feel loved. Years later, when historians wrote about the Vrick surrender, they would call it the most important day in human history. They would build monuments and write songs and make movies about the invasion, that became an alliance. But Maya never cared about any of that. She was too busy living her life, feeling her feelings, loving her family, being wonderfully, beautifully, powerfully human. Because in the end, that was all anyone needed to be. Just human. And that was more than enough.